After I built the radius disc sanding machine, a couple of you commented that you really wanted to see it in action. And I kind of had the thought of, well, geez, it's just a big spinning disc, what do you need to see? But after I've used it a few times, there are a few tricks that you need to be mindful of as you're working the guitar body on there. So I thought, since I've got a guitar ready to go and be sanded, it'd be a good time to go ahead and shoot how I do that. I'll show you how it works and a couple of things to look out for. Now you can already see this looks a little different from where we left off in the build. I've added this entire housing around the entire unit. That's because when I ran the very first guitar through here and sanded that down and radiused it, it worked amazing, but it dusted the entire shop. It was a miserable mess. You don't want to be breathing that. You don't want to be cleaning all of that. So this became very necessary. It's very simple and lightweight. It's just like 1/8" plywood. And then I added this hood on the top of that is connected up to our dust collection system, an absolute must when you're trying to collect and control the dust in your environment. I've got 2 radius dishes that I made, one for the soundboard and one for the back. They're 2 different radiuses, but they're really easy and interchangeable with the magnet system. I can just pop one off the side, interchange it for the other one, and we're ready to go. This guitar body is ready to go. It's ready to be radiused on the machine. But before we do that, I want to talk to you about one of the gotchas that I learned through the first couple of sandings that we went through on the machine. The machine is fast. You very quickly get yourself into a situation where you are taking too much material off of one side or the other. You just don't have any reference point on there other than your neck block and your tail block. Well, you can get down to those levels easy enough, but what happens is you don't realize that you have skewed while you've been sanding, and so once you start putting the top and the back on there, then you can quickly start to see, oh, I've got a problem. So the way that we can overcome that is, first of all, we draw a center line down the side of the guitar. That gives us a reference point because these are still squared up or rectangular and even on both sides at this point. Then you can create like a poster board template. I've created these out of the CAD program that I use for the design. These are in the final shape of the radiused side. So then I can lay that on the side of the guitar and scribe a line. You'll see that line running right here along the side of the guitar. Now we're not going to go all the way to the line. We're going to use that as a reference point, so we're taking off the same amount of material on both sides. Now you'll notice I do not have any linings on the inside of this yet. That is on purpose because I've still got a decent amount of material to take off of this. Once I get down real close to that line, probably within a 1/16 of an inch or so, I'm going to come back, put the linings in, and then we'll do the final radius sanding to get it down to the final dimensions. Doesn't take much pressure at all. I'm just letting it sit on there, and I'm holding at the neck block and the tail block end, trying to keep it centered. Take it off, give it a look. You can kind of tell we're already starting to get good control over that. There's a gap right here that I'll be able to tell as it comes in alignment. Okay, one thing I wanted to mention here that's really important is just how good this sleeve makes my elbow look. This shirt is from our merchandise store, and all the proceeds from each of the shirts goes to the next guitar that we build and give away. So I promise you it's to a good cause, and you really need one of these shirts to do a proper radiusing job on your guitar anyway. So go ahead and grab one of those for yourself. Okay, you can start to see how close I'm getting on my lines. So I'm probably within about 3/16 of an inch or so of being in alignment with where I want to be on this line. And I'm getting a little closer here than I am in the front, so I'm starting to put a little bit more pressure on the front. Yeah, see, I've gotten to the point where I am hitting full radius all the way around, so now it's just about getting it dimensioned correctly down to the lines and to the neck and the tail block too. Okay, I've gotten that just about within, I would say like a 1/16 or so of the edges, and so that's about where I want to be to go ahead and install the lining, and now I can flip over to do the other side. You can see here where we're starting from. You can see kind of the, even being a little bit offset here from where I put the sides together, but my lines are straight here, but all of that is gonna get sanded down even. You can see on this side, I am pretty much down to the lines right where I want them to be. You can see I keep most of that dust contained. You can see some here in the side of the box. It does make its way out to the front a little bit. But for the most part, what happens is the shell itself keeps that dust in there, and that gets sucked up by the dust collection port right on the top. So it works pretty well. Okay, with that part done, we are ready to put the lining on there. So let's do that next. The linings are all glued up, so let's do the final radius sanding. I'd say that is good. If you're gonna build more than one guitar, go build one of these machines. You'll thank me for it later. It's so much better. And I think that you're really gonna like it. Now, if you've gotten really good at that whole drive the bus model and you can do that in less than 5 minutes, then I think you should stick with that. And actually, you should make a video about that because I'd actually like to see it. All right, enough of that. Hey, go get your build started. You need one of these in your shop. I promise you, you're gonna like it. It's gonna save you a ton of time. Just remember those tips and tricks that we shared earlier. Run those witness lines down the side so that you don't end up with a skewed body when you're all done. And hey, I'll catch y'all next time.